Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having such a beautiful 4th of July weekend. As most of you have may seen my Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff already, that newly engaged. So really excited, but that's actually not why I'm jumping on here to talk to you today. I really wanted to jump on here because after 20 years of praying, 20 years of imagining what this could look like, 20 years of within the 20 years, not maybe the straight 20 of the different ups and downs, pain that I've been through, joys that I've been through, it led me exactly here to what I've always wanted. And a lot of people want to rush your process. You may have seen this meme before, you may have heard this before, but for women, when we hit 30, something happens. Even when we hit our mid 20s, something happens where what are we doing? Do we have a strong relationship? Are we engaged? Are we having kids? Are we married? Where are we? Like, society's like rushing us. And I remember at 23, like, I wanted to get married. I wanted to get married. I had a serious boyfriend at the time. I thought he might be the one. Obviously, it turned out not. But I had that pressure. And a lot of women feel that pressure to fulfill that expectation. And I'm here to tell you that I've felt it too. I've fallen victim to that too. I've victimized myself on that of like, why am I not here? Like, I have all these great qualities. Like, what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. I talk with so many women that they're just like, I want this and I want him or I want blah, blah, blah. Just because you want it doesn't mean it's God's timing for you. Or maybe you do really want somebody, but you got to wait. You got to wait because God has to show you something in yourself or show you something in the other person. The thing is that don't let society rush you, because the biggest example, the biggest fact I can give you is people are rushing and then they're getting divorced. And then they're figuring out, I actually didn't really love you after all. Or it was conditional love. Or this, that, and the other thing. And there's so many divorces that are happening out there. It's crazy. I live in Orange County where the divorce rate is something like 80%. It's nuts. I'm telling you that's because people are rushing the process. They're letting other people rush their process. I've prayed for over 20 years for the man that I have now, for Johnny. And I knew very quickly into dating him that he was going to be the one, and just other things had to unfold. And I could not have imagined a better proposal and how he asked me to be his wife. That happened on Friday. I could not have asked for a better one. The video's coming soon. I just got it. I got to watch it. It's a 3-minute video. And I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but holy crap, was that powerful. Oh my gosh. Like, you literally cannot replicate that at all. So here's the thing. For all the ladies out there, I really felt right after I got proposed to, I really felt convicted sharing this. This goes for men too, but I'm going to get to you guys in a second. For all the ladies out there, women, don't let society rush your process. Don't jump into wanting to find another guy because you're scared to be alone. God has you in that spot because he wants to talk to you. He wants to he already knows you. He wants you to get to know him more. There's other things that need to happen and need to unfold that you need to be obedient of, that he's calling you to do. And if you don't even know what that means, if you don't even know what that sounds like, let's definitely talk. But here's the thing, ladies, I remember when I've watched all my friends get engaged, have kids, my baby fever alert is super high. And no, we're not going to have kids right off the bat, but like, it's super high. My friend Jill has the cutest freaking little kids. I'm telling you what, every time I see them, my baby fever meter just crazy. But here's the thing. When I watched her get married, when I watched my cousin, I don't know if you're still watching this, V, but when I watched her get engaged, and then she even had to push back her wedding. I feel for her, but like, my excitement for them was like, oh, let's go. But then, of course, there's a part of me, I'm like, oh my gosh, when's it going to be my turn? And it's hard for us not to think that way. But ladies, I want to encourage you that your time is coming. But I love saying this to people. You have to become the best queen that you can. And guys, you also have to become the best king that you can in order to be able to give to that partner of yours. And you never stop building. You never stop building. You never stop growing together. One of the things that I really think that got Johnny and I to this place very quickly is for the simple fact of we communicate a lot. We work together. We over-communicate. Here's the thing. A lot of relationships, business partnerships, friendships fail because communication lacks. Period. communication lacks. And Johnny and I are very, like, if we run into a disagreement or something, like, we might, give it 5 minutes, but we're going to dive in. How do you feel? What's going on? What's coming up for you? And, like, we're not in it to hurt each other. We're not in it to point faults. We're in it because we really want to help the other person and understand where they're coming from. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're right. It doesn't matter. You got to take pride out the window, and you got to be able to, if you really love that person, listen to where they're at, where they're coming from. Communicate with them. And our communication is it's a lot. I love communication. Like, I used to be on television. I love talking. I love talking to people. I love sharing how I feel. This is why I jump on lives. But I feel so pulled to communicate to the ladies, and I'll get to you guys in just a second, but to the ladies right now, don't rush your process. Don't let anybody rush your process. Don't rush your own, because God's trying to show you something. You keep running into dead ends. You think you found the one. I've been there. I thought there was some people that I've dated, couple, that could be the one, because I was so ready. I was so ready to get married. At least I thought I was. Until God pulled me back and said, hey, I'm not done with you yet, nor will I ever be. But I'm definitely wanting to be selfish right now. And it wasn't the right time. But I took time to listen. I took time to be obedient. I took time to really work on me and my relationship with God. Before you can have two, before you go this way, you got to work on this way. That's the cross for you. You and God, and then you and your significant other. Boom. Wow, that just came to me. That was so good. You guys, you have to work on yourself and never stop. Never stop. Johnny and I are stronger together, but we're also strong apart too, because we became whole before we became one, or a pair, or however you want to call it. So ladies, your time is going to come, I promise you. But with who you are right now, your strength, your confidence, your empathy, your wisdom, just who you are as a woman, are you ready for a king, a real king, to come in, be your best friend, be your rock, be your everything? Because a lot of people get in relationships, and I'm going to call this out because I used to do this too. Everything I tell you guys, I've gone through myself. I never just preach out of like emptiness. There's always something there. There's a lot of broken people getting with broken people because they don't want to be alone. Then those people are together for a year, goes to 2, to 3, to 10, whatever. And now it's two broken people that never could become whole on their own because they didn't want to, that are attached to each other because you've grown a lot. There's nothing wrong with growing a lot, but you have to work on yourself. And then those people are together for so long, they don't want to leave because there's attachments there. They get married, they're unhappy, they're not fulfilled. Yo, are you guys hearing what I'm saying? Before Johnny, I was almost proposed to by another person, and I'm so glad that fell through because that person isn't even anywhere close to what I actually wanted in the long run. I've changed a lot too. But what I'm saying is that God gave me a man that he perfectly designed for me. And I will tell you this, ladies, like, you're going to find a man that loves your faults too. Put myself under the bus here. But I like to laugh. I like to be open on here because it's human nature to giggle at yourself every once in a while, right? So I will tell you this, like, I definitely super A-type. I definitely can be very high strung. Like, I like to plan things out. I'm very strategic. Like, okay, here we are. Like, if we got to be somewhere at 5, we're here in California, we probably have to leave at 4 because of traffic. Let's boom, boom, boom. And then I start planning my day. And if something goes off, I get frustrated. But I'm learning to have more grace and be flexible. But here's the thing. Sometimes I just get like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't you, like, if Johnny, like, forgot something or he didn't do something or whatever, like, and it was something very simple. But because I'm such a huge planner and I know that he's not, I'll get really short with them. Like, we went to the beach the other day. Perfect example. We were going to go to the beach, actually, the night that he proposed to me. And I was like, hey, let's take our beach blanket. Well, Johnny wants to wash the blanket before we go to the beach. And then by the time we leave, he forgets to put it in the dryer because he got busy. And I got super frustrated. I was like, yo, like, it's going to get dirty. Like, come on. Here's the thing. I could be super anal retentive, super high strung. I can, and I know that about myself, and I don't like it, but I'm working on it. But Johnny has so much grace and love and loves me through it that I'm like, yo, how do you deal with me sometimes? Like, good God, like, I find myself annoying sometimes, but I catch myself. Of course, I ask for forgiveness, put my pride down, ask for forgiveness. The whole point of me telling this story to you about the dumb beach blanket And I got frustrated as I went back and I apologized. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is how I know God made you for me. Because you're still around. You put up with me, right? Like, but you love me through my flaws. You love me through my flaws. You don't count them against me. You love me through them. You love me anyways. And that's the thing, is that no one's ever gonna be perfect. But I know for myself that I've never fully been who Molly is until Johnny really came along. I'm kind of nerdy, goofy. We got these dumb pet names for each other. Like, I talk in a little baby voice sometimes, like, come here, boo-boo. Like, just, I think we all do that, right? But I never let that guard down for anybody. But when he came along, because I created the space to love myself fully before another man came in, he did the same before. He didn't date somebody for like 3 years before he dated me. Ladies, I'm telling you this because you got to let him have his process as much as you need yours. Now I'm going to move to the men. I love this. This is going to be good. Guys, listen up. Please take this in the best way possible. Guys, you have it hard. Women come to you expecting you to have it together, all the answers. Providing, knowing what to do, planning, this and that, da-da-da-da. Like, you gotta be some superhero. You gotta you gotta be some superhero. It's like crazy to me. And that's just what society's put on you. But guess what? If you didn't have maybe a father in your life, if you didn't have good influences in your life, you don't know what that looks like. And you get all this pressure and, you might fail forward a few times and that's okay. That's life. But like, you guys have a lot of pressure. So ladies, ease up on your man like he's doing the best he can. But guys, if you don't know, ask. Here's the thing. I have so much respect for men, real men, quality men. And I say real because we got a lot of boys out here thinking they're men. And we actually... A little side tangent of a story. Johnny and I were out last night for doing this little block party for 4th of July. And this Latino man walks out of his house. You could tell he's been drinking. But he just starts talking to us, this and that. And then he starts talking to Johnny like, can I call you mijo? Because they're both Mexican. And they start talking. And he was saying how this gentleman grew up super rough in the hood. And then apparently I think he's been in a circle where there was just a lot of men beating on their women. So he told Johnny, never touch her, never beat her. And I was like, Johnny would never lay a finger on me. But there's a lot of men out there that power to them is slapping their woman around, verbally assaulting them, emotionally damaging them. That is not okay. There's women doing that to men too. We all need to stop that. What happened to love? Lift each other up, listen, because all those verbal and physical assaults come from a pain point or a power trip. If you got somebody that's a power trip and they don't want to let go of that trip, you cut them off. Like, get out of there. Your safety and health and well-being is never worth somebody smacking you around verbally or physically, period. I'm telling you to say this. Wow, Giselle, that's powerful. Been there, domestic violence survivor. Wow, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I verbally have been assaulted a lot in certain relationships and never really physically. Actually, that's a lie. There has been some physical way back when, but a lot of verbal, and that's tough. Like, that is never okay. From us doing our God-given segments on Monday, I have some women that reach out to me saying, like, how they're stuck in these relationships. Well, you're stuck when you want to stay. You have the power to be like, I'm done, I'm over this. So, my point with all this, for you guys, for you men out there, I talked to the ladies for a while. Men, there is a lot out there. But you got to make sure that you are also bettering yourself, becoming emotionally available as well to be able to attract the queen that you want. Because for male or female, if you guys want to go sleep around, do your thing, whoop-de-woo, test out the waters, like, your soul tie is going to be with that person. I'm not saying I've been perfect in my past. Definitely have not. That's a whole nother story. But the whole point is that we got to come together and know what our role is. To love, support. Women, be the glue. Guys, be the provider, protector. But even though as a provider and protector for a man, I've had family members on Johnny's side being like, Johnny's a part of my heart. And now you're a part of my heart too, and welcome you into the family, so protect him. I was like, with everything that I have. Women, you protect your man's heart more than you think you do. You provide that safe place. You provide that safe place where he can be vulnerable. He can be open, nurturing, more loving. I've said this for many years. The sexiest man in the room is the one that can show his emotions. Let it flow. Let it go. Cry, to be open, be vulnerable. Why? Because you're a human being. You need to get that out. Communicate that. But this all comes in places before you get with that person, your person, and it may take a few tries, but hey, you're trying, you're learning. Don't rush your process. I'm telling you, don't. 20 years. I thought I was going to be married maybe in my mid-20s. 7 years later, here I am. 30's considered old to have, well, in your 30s, you got to have kids. You got this whole timeline. My friend who's a doctor, she's like, I don't want to hear anything about your clock is ticking. Medicine is like way advanced now. You can have kids way later. I don't want to be an old mom, but I don't need to rush my process according to society. I want my process to be what God wants for me. What God wants for me. So I'm on here to say that it may take another 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. It could, for you to find that person. You never know. I don't know what God has planned for you, but all I do know is that literally for 20 years, since I was 10, I've been praying I cannot wait to find the love of my life and build life with him. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. God has used Johnny and I in such a powerful way on the God-Given Couple Show on Mondays, and just how people reach out to us and these podcasts people are bringing us on to. Like, we know there's something there. We don't know what that looks like. We're not attached to what that looks like, but we're being obedient. And I knew that I was supposed to talk on relationships for actually the past 5 years. I knew I wanted to start something. I just didn't know what the missing piece was. And it was Johnny. And now that we're doing it, it feels so good because we know that people need it. They need that hope. They need that healing. We're not speaking from like, we're coaches and we're going to fix you. We're not speaking from that. We're speaking out of just pure experience and love and just giving back. Because we're not even married yet. We started out before we were married. And now we're engaged. And then we will be married. But here's the thing. You guys got to see that whole process play out. Because we know how valuable that can be. So we wanted to give that. Because we have so much love for people. And if people just knew how much other people love them. And if you just take time for yourself to really find the points that you're actually really hurting. You're really struggling. Like, there's so many points that people just want to suppress, that by the time they get to that place to age, sometimes it's just age, or to the actual place emotionally, they can be with somebody else. They haven't dealt with their own ish. They've not dealt with their own ish. And guess what? There's always going to be new things popping up. I'm finding new things about myself, being like, wow, I never really saw this before. But now I have people in my life that, will check me on things, or they say, hey, like, have you ever seen this or whatever about that? Like, accountability is huge. So if you have a great relationship, I don't want to say symbol, great relationship example in your life, let them know that. Find the relationship that you want and then reverse engineer, figure out how they got it. And that could take time. Again, could take 5 to 10 years. I prayed for 20 years. Yes, I wasn't going to get married at 10. Of course not. But here's the thing. I would pray for another 20 if that's what it took to wait for the man that I have now to find Johnny. Because the other alternative is I don't want, divorce isn't in my future. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not where I'm going at all. So I just love you guys. I come on here and you guys light me up with your comments. Brian, I love you, girl. I love what you're growing through. I love everything. Like, people, like, you could be doing anything else right now. It's 4th of July weekend, but you're sitting here watching me, or maybe you're watching the recording. But drop below like what you got from this, or tag somebody who really needs to hear this message. Share this on your timeline. Share this on your story. These kind of conversations are important to have. And I think more people need to have them, quite frankly. Yeah, it deals with those icky parts, feelings, emotions, things that we don't want to bring back up, that we haven't healed from. Well, guess what? That's always going to be just like knocking at you, and at the worst possible times. God wants to heal you. He wants you to know you are so loved. And one of the things, I'm going to end with this and just give you a little preview on what this video is going to look like when we end up putting it up. It'll probably be next week. I still got to watch it. I still haven't even watched the whole thing. But when Johnny proposed, you guys, it could have not been a more perfect setting. My favorite place in the whole world is the beach, being at the ocean. Why? Because its gravitational pull, how big it is, how vast it is, it makes you realize how small you are, but how big God is. Have you ever realized that? Every speck of sand, if you look at it, you pick it up, you drop it out of your hand, you're like, this is how much God loves me. All these specks of sands and some. You guys, there's so many metaphors at the beach, it's not even funny, but what was just the triple cherry on top was the fact that we were there for a revelation, for a revival. Orange County, sharing God's love and grace. We were worshiping. We had a great word. People came from all over California, like Sacramento, Redding, like far, all the way, San Diego, Temecula, like far, hours driving to be there, to worship with people in community on a beautiful place, a beautiful evening. A word was given, preaching the gospel to be disciples of what God has given you. Be a disciple. He didn't give you all this knowledge and love and grace and mercy for you to keep it for yourself. Shoot. Like, are you going to be that rich person that's just like holed up in his house or her house with a bunch of cash and like, you don't want to give it to nobody? Like, come on, no. We want to go out and spend. We want to go out and get something, like share something. Hello, God's grace and love and mercy is the same thing. And people here need to hear and know it. Now more than ever. And that's why we were there. Then people got baptized in the ocean. Yo, if it's not bath water, I'm not getting in. Like, I'm a wimp when it comes to cold water. And I was like, Lord, if you want me to get in this water and be baptized again, like, just say it. He didn't say it. And I was kind of like, whew, man, it was cold and it was windy. But here's the kicker. When Johnny came back and did what he did after all of that, God was so filled in that place because where two or more are gathered, he is there. And there were hundreds of people there. A lot of people I didn't know. And it was the most perfect thing because God brought us together, started it. He's in the middle. He'll always be in the middle. He was there for that proposal. Johnny did it on a whim. He did it because he brought the ring. He felt like it might be the right time and boom. But I'm going to save all the rest of the details for another time. You guys will watch the video later. But I just want to come on here with that word. Don't let people rush your timeline. Over 20 years, yo. Might take you another 20. Maybe you're still waiting and it's been over 20. The thing is, there's something that hasn't happened yet in order for that space to be open. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Let me know your comments below if you're watching the recording of this. Thank you so much. I just love being able to share and give because I think of the spaces I'm growing into now. What was I like before then? I like to address that because I know other people are thinking that too. Thank you so much, Bri. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys that have jumped on here watching the recording. So I will chat with you guys soon. Have a great day.